Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today, and with me is Mr. Paul Were, the Safety Officer at Nairobi 88 Condominium site. Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you.
So, tell us something briefly about yourself.
As you said, I'm Paul Were. I'm the resident HSE Officer at the 88 Nairobi Condominium site. I have over 6 years experience in matters health and safety. My first posting was at the Global Trade Center, that is GTC at Westlands. And from last year, September, I've been based here at 88 Nairobi Condominium site.
So, you were actually working at the iconic Nairobi GTC.
Yes.
What was your experience like there?
It was a learning curve for me, eye-opening. I learned a lot on matter safety. Actually, that's the side that made me a safety officer. The knowledge I got from there is actually what I'm implementing in this other new site. And as much as there are new challenges in this other site, they cannot surpass the ones I had at GTC. So, yeah.
And one has to wonder, especially in this period where we've just come from, I think the high schoolers who finished last year just been recently selected to join the various universities, and one of them probably could be thinking, what is safety all about? Yeah. So maybe you could tell us why safety and what is safety all about.
Why safety? That's a difficult one. For me, actually, my first degree was not in safety. Safety is my second area of study. Passion drove me to safety. The passion to see people come to work and live in health as they can. For the person trying to get into safety, I would say you must have passion. Don't look at the pay. You must have passion, because the demand, or rather what will be required, what will be demanded of you in this work is a lot. Yeah? You're ever on call 24/7. The instances I've had to come back to site in the middle of the night to address issues and to attend to matters. Yet, go back home and come back the following morning, by 6 to be here, and maybe leave at 12 again on that day.
Wait, you saying you come to the site at 6 a.m.?
Yes.
And you leave at 12
a.m.
12 midnight?
12 midnight.
And you're still supposed to be back at the site?
At the site by 6.
By 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. And so, how do you manage your time, to ensure you don't get late and to ensure you arrive on time? Because time is a very important factor in construction.
Yes, actually time management is one of the key factors in any career. I would say by now I've gotten used to it. It's natural. I don't even need an alarm clock to get up in the morning.
How many sleep hours?
At most 4.
4.
Go beyond there and you're risking.
Wow. Some of us struggle even with 6, but that's story for another day. So I look at Nairobi 88 Condominium site from far. You can actually see it from CBD. I've seen it from Westlands. I've seen it from a place we call Landimawe on your way to South Sea. You can see it from Kilimani and Upper Hill and its environs. And one thing that stands out is how well the building has been, the safety nets have been placed, and even for myself, which is courtesy of you, I've been able to have a walk in the site, in the structure itself, and I look at how well, the hoarding has been done. They are very well placed and visible, warning signs. Lighting in the dark areas has been done properly. We have ventilation systems in the basement, and one has to imagine what other safety measures have you put in place, because there's so many from what I see, but maybe there are others that I've probably not seen. What safety measures have you put to ensure maximum safety in Nairobi 88?
First, there are clear passages and the standards. Let me start with the standards first.
Okay.
The standards we're implementing, first, they are those recommended by the Kenyan government. Secondly, the client being European and
Mr. Jonathan Jackson.
Mr.
right?
Jonathan Jackson, yes.
Okay.
And American part, we are encouraged to comply also with the international standards of safety. Those are European and American standards. Again, there's the Chinese aspect.
Yes.
Their standards must also be met on matters of safety and health. So I would say this site is a learning curve for anyone who wants to do safety. Yeah, I would say if you want to learn safety, a site like this would be the best place for you to gather knowledge and experience.
Because you're getting safety in Kenyan perspective,
Yes,
European perspective,
American
the Americans,
perspective,
the Chinese.
perspective.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Privileged, actually.
it's really a great opportunity for someone in your line of profession. And something that you mentioned earlier in this interview is that you've worked at in Nairobi GTC.
Yes.
So I think this is it's a discussion a lot of people say, because someone to talk about Nairobi GTC, one would have to ask, how did you land there? How did you get an opportunity to just come fresh from school directly into GTC, an iconic building in Kenya?
Actually, I didn't come straight from school, as I had mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Safety is my second area of study. My first area of study is what I got out of school and got employed. But after a short while, I was not motivated anymore. I actually quit that job. I quit literally. On that day, they were extending my contract. I told them, no, I can't do this anymore. You have to let me go.
Yeah.
And actually, on top of that, they had promised me a pay bump on top of what I used to earn. I told them, thank you. No, thank you.
So probably they saw the good work you're doing, but
Yeah.
you just felt your heart wasn't there.
My heart was not in it. So my first job, I quit. Then came into construction. Actually started at the bottom, as popularly called Mtuankono. Worked my way to where I am right now.
Wonderful. So you studied somewhere,
Yes.
and you were hands-on
Yes,
construction
yes.
worker,
Yes.
but you went on to pursue a degree in safety,
In safety.
and now here you are being the safety officer of what's going to be the tallest high-end residential building in Africa.
I
And
like to
we
see
can-
myself as that.
And we can also talk about GTC as an iconic building, as well as Nairobi 88 Condominium. Do you ever get a sense of pride for working in such projects?
I would say I like to count my blessings rather at the end of the project. Yeah. I really like to count them as the project is going on. For GTC, I can say I'm happy that I left there with no major accidents,
Wonderful.
no fatalities. The minor injuries were nearing zero. And for this site so far, I've not had any fatalities or serious accidents. And I'm working to bring the minor injuries to zero. Yeah. Though they're unavoidable at some time. And when the day comes that I'm handing over my keys, yeah, back to the client, and everything looks good, yeah, that's the day I would say I'll be proud, I'll be happy. At the moment, I'd rather stay humble. And,
So you'd like to see the success, and you'd like to see your success speaking for you.
for my, yeah.
So, Mr. Paul, when I was walking into the construction site,
Yes.
where you have the visitors book, there's a board that has a list of people who violated safety standards in the construction site, and one has to wonder, because there weren't so many, so how often do you get cases of people just deciding to do things the other way?
I'd say at most I've had is 2 per week. Though for this week I've had 1. Last week I had 1. Next week I don't expect any.
Yes.
Yeah, our standards are such that they're strict. We are strict actually with safety. We don't take it for granted. So that's why that list is at the minimum.
How many workers do you have in the construction site?
For at the moment, we have 250. Those are the main contractors' workers. But if we go ahead and add the subcontractors who've reported to site, we usually clock 350 on any given day of the week. But on weekends, the number tends to go down because not everyone reports to site.
Oh, okay. And we're talking about 44 floors, right?
Yes.
So do you have a team that you work with in the safety department?
I'm the sole safety officer.
Sole safety officer?
Yes.
For the whole building?
For the whole building.
Wow, okay.
And yeah, I'm managing well, I hope.
Oh, you are?
Thank you for that. It's a challenge though. It has its moments, I would like to say. That's why I call it, you must be passionate for you to be a safety officer. If you're not, you'll quit on your first day or first week of the work, because there's a lot you must handle. I think back there I mentioned that you're always on call. Anything can happen, anywhere, anytime, at whatever rate. Yeah. So at the evening or at night, your phone must remain on, expecting a call maybe from work.
And you're only sleeping for 4 hours?
Maximum I've ever slept is 4 hours.
Wow.
And that was on a very lucky day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it was on a holiday.
You don't say. I mean, Monday is going to be a holiday.
I'm going to be at work.
Uh-huh.
We're going to report to work.
Wow. So you're the sole HSE officer at Nairobi Condominium, but I'm guessing, because I've been to your office, and I believe that was the nurse was there.
Yes.
So is she usually around 20 throughout the working period?
Her timings are rather different, not compared to mine. Has the normal work days or the normal working hours in a day, 8 to 5, and then she leaves for her place. But I must remain, I must see that everyone has left the site safely and the security of the site is intact. All the gates are closed. That's when I can leave from my place.
So, Mr. Paul, you've talked of 350 workers.
Yes.
And a popular statement that has been put out there is that construction involves telling adults what to do. And adults have a tendency to have their own way of doing things. So how do you handle 350 adults? It's like a child you can pinch when they go astray. So how do you handle 350 workers?
The HR department plays a very big role in helping me recruit the workers I supervise on matters health and safety. So I would say it's all Paul. Big up to our safety department and our HR, and how we interact. Shout out to Mary Ngoro, she's our HR officer, administrator also. So she helps me a lot in recruiting, the best employees, the people who are serious with their safety and health. We don't want ever to employ anyone who does not look or take their safety seriously. I really want to have a situation where you've had someone rather whose safety they take for granted. That would be a very big risk on my part.
Yeah, and of course, because since you're in charge of safety, you also have to ensure the team you're working with is also trying to do their part, in ensuring that safety is well maintained and everything is in order.
Yes.
So, as you've mentioned that you only sleep 4 hours and you work on a daily basis. Do you ever get some free time? If so, what do you do with it?
To be honest with you, I haven't had free time since 2016.
2016. Wow.
My social life ground to a halt. Breaks on it. I'm all works at the moment.
Okay. So that's like Sunday to Sunday?
Sunday to Sunday. Latest I'm here at 6. The earliest I can leave this site is 6 p.m. in the evening. But that most of the time, yeah, I leave at between 8 and 12 midnight. There are days we've had to work 24 hours. Yeah, I think the maximum I've worked is 36 hours continuous.
36 hours?
36 hours. That's a full day and a half.
You must have collapsed when you went home.
No say. Yeah, I didn't eat actually. I sat down, and when I woke up from there, it was the following day.
Oh, okay. Allow me to take you back a little bit. There's something I noted, and which is a really, really amazing thing within the site, is that the hoists, both of them,
Yes.
they're being driven by female operators.
Yes.
And I have to appreciate the fact that I'm seeing more women in the construction sites. So what would you say about that? Are women also, is the number of women in a construction site growing, or is it at a standstill? What would you say about that?
Let me start by saying that ZJCC is an equal opportunity employer. We employ both male and female, and even disabled people who can work in a construction site, we do employ. Like at the moment, we have one deaf employee. Female, they're on the rise in the construction industry, I must say. Actually, this room, as you see it, it was painted by a female.
Oh,
Yes,
she's done a good job.
thank you. Big up to her again. And our hoist, as I've said, they're being driven by female. And any other work, yeah, from carpentry, masonry, plumbing, any that can be done by a female, and a female shows up and proves that they can do it, we take them immediately.
So you're, as ZJCC, you're focused on getting the right people, regardless of their gender, regardless of, so long as they show capability. Yeah, and I think that's something that's really encouraging, even to all the women out there who probably want to pursue a career in construction, that the world is opening. Yeah, we are moving away from those times of this is a men's only kind of work, and it's good to see such kind of steps being taken. And even as we wind up, I'd just like to get your parting shots, and maybe you could direct this to someone who's seeing this site for the first time. Maybe they saw it as a career option whenever they were choosing the careers to pursue, or they heard of it by word of mouth and now they would like to get more details. What would you encourage that someone who's giving it a thought about pursuing safety as a career?
I would say find someone who's been in the safety career, sit them down, ask questions. Actually, we should organize a career fair for safety HSE actually, and where those people who've done the schooling can come and find out more about these careers. Yeah? It's not a good idea you get to finish your schooling and maybe what you're called to pursue in university is not your passion. Yeah? It's high time we made career fairs a big thing in this country. We have very few people, yeah, venturing into careers that don't make them happy, or they don't feel welcomed. So for someone wanting to pursue safety, I would say you must have the passion, as I mentioned earlier. The timings are crazy, let me use that word, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And the pay might not be so good to others, but due to the passion, you'll persist, you'll pursue, and you'll continue. Yeah.
So for someone who's interested, it's a good career.
Yes.
But just like any other career, it requires someone who's called for it, who has a calling for it. Because I personally, I don't see myself sleeping for 4 hours. anytime soon.
Too bad.
But I feel motivated now after talking to you. I feel there's more work that people can do, to better themselves. Because I believe, from your perspective, safety is not really a job. It's more like something that you do. It's a hobby that generates income, yeah. And the fact that you get to supervise the construction, the ongoing works of an iconic building, which is going to be the tallest high-end residential building in Africa, I believe that's a great honor that you can be bestowed upon.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Mr. Paul. It was a nice chat having with you. And to our folks out there, you've heard from the professional. Safety is not for the weak-hearted, but if it is your calling, please pursue it. Get someone to mentor you in it, and also make strides to be the best version of yourself. If it's sleeping for 4 hours, do it. You know why? Because it's worth it. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and a comment, for they help us grow. Don't forget to subscribe and also share our channel to other people. That's it from us. See you on the next one.